So I'm getting that somebody wanted you to be a bad person so bad, because they thought that like you thought that you were perfect, or that, or but really it's just a projection because they thought you were too perfect, and then like so you could have experienced some sort of like defamation of character situation going on, due to like them thinking, it's giving like um you growing up in an environment where you want to sort of like transcend the limitations of like your parents or something like that, and then you were called like stuff like spoiled or bougie or like uppity and stuff like that, or being, it was like people tried to make it seem like you were, I don't know, there was like, oh, there's always like a nefarious reason for you to try to like improve yourself or something like that. Like really toxic environments where people were just threatened by your intelligence and thought that like you just being yourself was showing off or trying to make people feel bad. But I'm getting that like at a certain point in time you may have started to believe that there was something wrong with you due to like, it's almost giving that like, say you are like, I think that a lot of people who are earth angels and whatever, I'm not like earth angels, it's just that like, not to say that like everybody isn't a little divine, but it's different when like, like a source consciousness literally like directly pinches off a part of itself and puts it into a vessel like with its like, a lot of its like abilities and stuff like that, that's like on par with, I don't know. I don't know why I'm picking up like Rasputin or whatever, like how how they like tried to destroy him a bunch of times. Um and then he like kept surviving. Like it took a lot to take him out, which technically is like a really divine energy, and like whatever. I'm not really gonna get into that. But I'm just getting that like you are definitely somebody who back in the day would have been like hunt, they would have come for you with like, the angry mob and pitchforks and stuff like that, like accusing you of malicious witchcraft and stuff like that, because I'm getting that like there is some activation, and this isn't going to be for everybody, but like you're so high vibrational that it's like your will is trusted by the divine, to where like, if you did accidentally exercise like, a little bit of like mind control energy on people, it's not like maliciously, it's like you're granted these things because they know that like you're only using any abilities that you do have or develop for the highest and greatest good of all, or to help you like progress along your journey. Like obviously like you're gifted these things and these abilities for the sake of like helping heal humanity, and that's why you have them, right? Obviously people can get abilities that they, develop in like more nefarious ways, which we're not really getting into that. This isn't what this video is about, and I know that like TikTok doesn't really like when I talk about the collapse of like systems and stuff like that, but just to say, if you have been picking up on that energy, yes, the old system did collapse. Yes, those like people who were like puppeting at the top, the strings got cut, and then they got like flicked off their throne because they were kind of like occupying a space that like, it's sort of giving that like, if you want to think of it like, divine energies left certain very human vessels like and bloodlines in charge, okay? Or I don't know, it's like, uh I don't want to get into this. It's like the ones who are like supposed to kind of like guide or whatever and like be in charge or whatever, kind of like were destabilized or whatever. So like the wrong people were running things, and that has been fixed because they're being wiped out or whatever. Like their energetic control is like no more because they've been overpowered, because like people are incarnating, I guess. If you see those videos of like kids, like little kids, and they seem to be extremely sentient like in a weird way, you have to just believe that they're reincarnated. They are, but it's giving that like people who like vessels who were like inhabited by like really high ranked like spiritual beings or whatever, like they're fully activating and stuff like that, and our collective rank outranks whatever sort of like, I don't know, like stolen or like artificially harvested power that like individuals were using to like coerce and corrupt like I don't know, the grid on Earth or whatever. Does that make sense? Anyway, okay, again, so you may be developing some abilities that may like frighten you a little bit. Two, um, like if you know, you know, I guess it just will like seem that everything around you, like as long as you're not self-sabotaging, like if you just allow yourself to go with like the flow of this like new reality or whatever, everything is kind of like pushing you towards exactly like the position that you were kind of like always meant to occupy in this lifetime. And you know, you can help heal humanity by being, you know, uh like say you're, you know, because I know like there's this whole thing of like people not wanting to have kids, but like if you do and you know that you're like called to, some people are like your whole like mission was to like, I don't know, heal yourself so that when you have children, you're not passing on mommy or daddy issues to those children, because you know, so that those kids aren't going, they're going to grow up and be like genuinely like good people, like well-rounded people without such deep wounds that they have to go through and heal, so that they can like, and I know people make things like that are a joke, or like, oh, you know, if you want to like buy a 4-bedroom house or whatever, you have to start planning when you're 6. It's almost like, if that is the case, it's like, you know, we're going to start seeing 6-year-olds who like are, you know, being like supported enough because the community around them is like healthy and high vibrational and healed, to where they actually will be able to like, you know, start being in alignment with their like higher selves and like their higher purpose without any interference from like karmic energies, you know, from the time when they are like a 6-year-old, because they are being raised by like healed parents in a healed community, you know, being taught by healed teachers, you know what I mean, being protected by healed and awakened police officers, you know what I mean. This message is kind of all over the place, but I think it's important. Like, you are going to start seeing like signs in nature too, that like of like how much you are like loved and, you know, I guess trusted even. Like things like, I don't know, like noticing you know, random like hearts, you know, I don't know, like, oh, the ice on the like hood of your car just happens to melt in like a heart shape, like stuff like that. But I'm getting that like this collective has reached a point where we're so high vibrational, and I think that like you had already reached this point, but it had to be like maintained for a while, despite like all the like, I don't know, the like shit that was going on around you, to sort of like have that vibration stick. And it's like gotten to the point where it's sticked, it's like stuck or whatever, to where you may not even like it's almost like you don't even like perceive or recognize or even like see karmic energies anymore, like they just aren't there for you anymore, you know what I mean. I'm getting that like some of you could be getting like trolled a little bit or something like that, but those are from people who are like, it's so like niche, they're like people who are like between the like the third and fifth dimension, they're like in the fourth dimension, so it could be like online stuff, or people who are like attempting to like throw you off your square or like interfere. But I'm getting that like, again, you're like vibrating so high right now, or like forever, like you've matched and will maintain this vibration indefinitely, like this is just how you are now. um that, you know, it's giving that like as soon as somebody like hits send, if they send something like offensive to you, or they're trying to like harass you or something, they hit send, and then it's like, I'm just hearing like glass breaking, like, you know, I don't know, like a glass in their house just like shatters out of nowhere, and then, you know, I don't know, like their tire just happens to be like punctured when they go outside to their car, or like a giant tree limb fell and like crushed something in their like in their yard or whatever. You know what I mean? You know, they walk outside and they immediately like slip and like fall on their ass or whatever, like on some ice. You know, it's like it's going to be like so obvious that like you are anointed in some way, to where you will just like notice that people just like stop messing with you, because it's honestly like it drains them so severely to even like bully you a little bit, that it's not even like worth it for them to try anymore. Some of them are delusional enough to keep trying, but like obviously that's not going to end well for them, and it's kind of irrelevant. Okay.